want to welcome her to the program, Dr. Josefina Monasterio. Hello, Dr. Monasterio. How's everything?
Great, thank you. Nice to be with you.
Nice thing, the same here. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us on the program. So before we talk about your career and things that you're currently doing, let's start from the beginning. What was your introduction to sports and health and fitness?
Since a very early age, probably when I was in fourth grade, I started participating in the intramural competitions in the elementary school, and I always was interested and fascinated by the body, mind, spirit connection, and so that was my beginning. So it has been a long journey.
Absolutely. Now, I was doing some research on you. I saw that you were an amateur runner at one time. Tell the audience just a little bit about how did your running experience come about.
Yeah, that experience, each one of my experiences always have a mentor. So when I started into the journey of running, it was one of my professors in college that she suggested for me to participate also in the, be a part of the team at the university. So I started running, and I could not run at all. Just doing 1 minute was a big deal. And she would tell me, Josefina, only do 1 minute. Just do it for 1 minute. And that 1 minute went to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And that's why it's so powerful, the consistency and perseverance, because I was a lousy runner. And then by the end, I used to do marathon, half a marathon. I used to compete a lot in track and field, long distance, short distance. But it was that mentoring, that professor that told me just 1 minute. And sometimes we want just to accomplish things overnight, when it's just the perseverance and the consistency. And to this day, I maintain those habits.
Awesome. Great habits to maintain. I want to stay with your running career for a moment. Did it lead to anything big, like maybe competing in the Olympic trials or anything, or was it just something that you did for your university?
Just for the university. It just was the university, yes. All the colleges that I went, all my education, I participated in the sport activities, yes.
Okay, sweet. So now, again, as you mentioned earlier, that discipline and all of the things that you learned from running and at university really prepared you for the next phase in your, not just in your athletic career, but in your life, and that's becoming a bodybuilder. How did you come across the sport of bodybuilding? It's amazing. Because it happened just the same way it happened my runner career, my gymnast career also, because I used to be a gymnast. First I was a gymnast, then I became a runner, and then I became a bodybuilder. And the bodybuilding thing started when I was 59 years old. And I was doing a TV show here in my local town, and I met the person who was going to be my future coach, which I didn't know him for nothing. So he started talking to me, and he said, started talking about bodybuilding. And I said, what is that? Because I had no clue. Although I used to be a gymnast and a runner, but in those days, we didn't lift weights. It wasn't the thing to do. So he started explaining to me what bodybuilding is all about. And I said, wow, but I don't know how to train that. He said, I will help you. And he took me under his wings, and we started training. He owns a gym here locally, and we started training in January 2005. By June 2005, he takes me to my first competition, and I won the whole thing. And the feedback from the judges was, you have great symmetry, you have great stage presentation, you're going to give them a run for their money. And of course, when you start anything in life, that you start with that kind of positivity, that kind of feedback, that kind of success, it's very difficult to let it go. That's how I started bodybuilding. And this is it's fascinating when you give life an opportunity, Because if you don't say yes, if I didn't say yes to my coach when he started telling me about bodybuilding, look, all the things that I would have missed, all the development, all the creativity, all the benefit, all the TV show, all the excitement, all the books, because it's so powerful to be able to say yes, and don't worry about it if you don't know how to do it. I didn't have a clue, but I trusted a person that says, I will coach you, I will help you. So that's very important when we find people in life that are willing to mentor you, because it's easier for somebody to tell you, you have a great symmetry, you have great potential to do this and to do that, but nobody gives you a hand. So don't tell me I'm good at something unless you're going to help me to facilitate, to utilize, and to develop that talent. So that's my experience with the bodybuilding and the athletics and all that.
You hit the nail on the coffin on that one, Doctor. And you mentioned that, like you said, there's a lot of people out there that you reach out to for help, or people that offer help, but they don't really, like you said, they don't really facilitate that. And I'm glad that person, that coach that helped you out and still helps you out for your competitions, made a way for you to make it happen and to win your first show. That's interesting, because when most competitors get into this competition, not all of them, but quite the majority of them don't win their first show. Do you remember what went into how you prepared for your first show?
Oh, absolutely. It was, imagine, preparing for something that you had never done in your life. It was just an amazing journey. And that's probably why I keep doing it, because I love, like, the last 2 or 3 weeks preparing for competition, because your diet changes, your mental state changes, your drinking water changes. So it's a complete transformation, and the just watching that magic, how the body is able to transform in weeks and days and hours. So that was a fascinating journey for me. And that's probably the reason I keep doing it, because most people, it's such a hard time the last week or the week of preparation. You're depleting from this and depleting for that. And for me, it's the opposite. I love the change. I love being able to eat everything I want. I love the discipline, because I see the benefits, not only the benefits that it does in your physique, but the benefit that it does in your mind and in your spirit, because you are eating some minimal amount of food that practically is like a fasting stage, and then it takes you into a different level of consciousness. So bodybuilding looks on the surface, muscle, muscle, but I think people like me that continue to do it for the sport of it, because I don't do any drugs. I don't do any supplements. I don't take any vitamins. I just do my food, my eggs, my meat, my chicken, my potatoes, my veggies. But it's just an amazing. It's an amazing sport.
Awesome. Indeed, it is an amazing sport because it provides so many benefits. I want to stay with bodybuilding for a moment, and you mentioned about the training and the diet, and we're going to get a little more into detail a little bit. But in your opinion, what are the differences between training for a bodybuilding competition as opposed to, say, training for when you were involved in track and field and also for gymnastics?
Oh, my God, totally, completely different mindset. Totally. Like, for instance, for a runner, like I can run now. I don't want to run now. Why? Because running it's not good for you developing your muscle. And that's why you see a lot of runners, they're very skinny and very little muscle. So, I don't do the cardio like I run. I walk and I jog very, very lightly. For gymnastics, it's all about strength and endurance and flexibility and skill and abilities to be able to jump and to do all the things that you're supposed to be in gymnastics. Gymnastics is also very, all the sports are very mind oriented. It's like you have to work. For instance, when I started in gymnastics, I wasn't able to bend. If you're sitting on the floor with your legs
spread, and you try to touch the floor with your chest. I could not do that. And my teacher, my professor, the professor who got me into gymnastics, I would look up to him. He was right behind me and pushing me, putting his hand behind my back and pressing a little, very lightly pressing. And I would say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't. And he would say, yes, you can, yes, you can, yes, you can. I'm being very lucky person because in all my activities that I'm being successful in life, I have people like that. That was my professor who got me into gymnastics and taught me that I could. Because you have to have good flexibility, great coordination. You have to have strength. So, and for running, the skills are you have to run. That's what you have to do. You have to run. You have to run. You have to run. And you do some stretching and some kind of thing. But now they are more, the sports are almost all the sports include lifting weights now because they know developing the strength and the muscle is very important. So you see now in basketball and every sport you see people now lifting weights, but lifting weight with different mentality because you are focusing in a particular skill or ability that you want to develop for that particular sport. Like in bodybuilding, for my training today, for instance, I did shoulders. So I just focusing in making my shoulders stronger and lifting heavy because the mindset is about visualizing those shoulders muscle being developing and growing. So I come doing legs when I'm doing shoulders. At least in my case, I have to focus in the muscle that I'm working on because I see this amazing connection between muscle and mind, muscle-mind connection. And when you are focusing in the muscle that you're working on and you're transferring that energy and you're feeling the fiber in your muscle breaking and developing and you feel the strength, it's an amazing, powerful journey, amazing experience to be able to focus on that. And my theory, it's just my belief, is that part of the reason people don't see results at the gym is because they don't have that focus, that concentration, that working between, the connecting the muscle and the exercise I'm doing. If I'm working on my shoulders, I'm focusing in my shoulder. If I'm working on my bicep, then I'm lifting the weight and focusing in the bicep. So I think that's part of the reason people don't see results because they have their phone, they're playing with their phone, they're sending messages, they're taking pictures, they're doing video, and then you waste all that focus. You need to be focused when you train. That's not, I go to the gym totally, you don't know me there because it's like a totally focus on what it has to be done because that I believe that's how I develop my muscles, not by taking drugs.
Absolutely, you're right about that. Again, everything involves discipline and just being focused, not just in athletics, but just anything you want to do in life in general. It involves focus and discipline. And let's stay with the sport that you currently compete in. What weight class or weight classes have you competed in, and what's your current weight class?
Okay, so in bodybuilding, I do open class. And I do bodybuilding open class, and I do bodybuilding master, and I do bodybuilding like over 40, over 50. So I don't limit myself to, this is my age, so I can only do this, this category. I'm open. I started doing open class long time ago. And it was another leap of faith because when you start in that sport, then you're 40 years old, so you do all the 40, just the 40 category. And then 50, and then one time, I remember one year, I asked my coach, do you think I should do open class? And he said, of course. But it has to come from you. You have to have a mindset that you want to do an open class. So I do open class, I do weight, and my weight, I'm lightweight. For weight, I'm lightweight, open class, and then I can cross over to
women over 40, 50, 60, 70, so any age that I want.
What's the difference in open? You mentioned one of the competitions, one of the classes you compete in is open. Like, what's the difference in open? Is it in terms of just, is it what's the word I want to say, like a weight requirement or anything like that, or what's the difference in the open class?
Okay, open class in some shows, the different shows have different criteria for that. But open classes, everybody. You can be competing with a 20 years old or you can be competing with a 70 years old. It's open class. Now, in that open class, they do divide in lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight. Sometimes they just have one category. Everybody competes and so it's just like that. But the difference is that everybody, you compete, you're just not competing with people your age. You're competing with anybody. Anybody who wants to compete, you're competing with that person. So there's no limit to it. But you expose yourself. But like in my case, I do open class. I'm competing with a 20 and a 30 years old. But I don't care because I look great. So, and I work hard and I feel comfortable. So that is the difference. So that most people feel, well, I have to be with people my age. Okay, that's fine for you, but I can't compete with anybody.
There you go, man. The confidence goes a long way, I tell you that. Let's move along now to your career. Do you have a count of how many titles you've won so far?
Oh, my God. In bodybuilding, I have more than 400 trophies. I have trophies and plaques and medals and swords and all that kind of stuff. So I have more than 40.
Oh, wow, you've racked up a lot. You've definitely been busy doing your thing. You mentioned about not taking any supplements or performance enhancers or anything like that, and you stated that you are a natural competitor, but were there any moments in your career where you were kind of tempted because you was like, well, wait a minute, I see these other competitors, they're on something, maybe I need to take something, or have you always maintained your focus and just stay competing naturally?
Competing naturally because I'm very successful at it. And that's the thing. If you look in my career, either YouTube or you look at it, Google my name and you see how successful I have been. And it has been so successful naturally. Look who they invite to TV shows like American Got Talent, Steve Harvey. They invited me. They didn't invite people who be looking different than me. So why is that? And I'm not putting anything down. It's just like never. I compete with those women are huge. I mean, muscle like you won't believe. And I place 4, 5, third place, fourth place, fifth place. And you know what the audience tell me when we finish, when I come down into the audience to say hi? They tell me you were the only female on stage. And I place number 3 or number 4 or number 5. For me, it's first place because I'm natural.
Do you compete in drug-tested competitions, or do you have a preference to compete in either drug-tested or non-drug-tested competitions?
Yeah, I am in Florida. So the organization in Florida, we used to have natural shows, like maybe 1 or 2 shows were natural. And they of course they don't make money because they just don't make money. That's why the people don't do natural things. And the natural shows, they are in California, they are in the West Coast, and I live in Florida. So I'm not gonna be traveling to California, so it's not worth it because that will take the fun out of the competition. I don't mind competing with people who do drugs. I don't mind competing with people who take supplements. I don't mind. Because I achieve my goals. I have fun and enjoy. You look at my videos at the night show, the audience comes alive with me. I'm an entertainer. It's fun. It's an amazing thing. So, so I have to keep it fun.
Awesome. Now, when you mentioned that since you don't take supplements or vitamins or any of that nature, when you're getting ready for a competition, what does your training normally consist of?
or training as heavy as I can. Okay, if I train by myself, of course I'm very cautious because you don't want to train like to hurt yourself or to injure yourself. You don't want to do that. So my training right now all season is heavy. I go as heavy as I can. So that's the training because that's the only way you develop muscle mass. You have to lift weight heavy, and then you have to eat right. So right after I finish my training, I have my eggs, my protein. That's my protein. I don't take that the protein, supplement protein. I don't buy that stuff. I buy good eggs, and that's it.
Okay. So it almost sounds like your genetics are really made for the sport. If you say you just do heavy lifting, and of course you get your protein from your eggs and stuff, that's what it sounds like. Now you mentioned eggs. What foods do you eat to get ready for a competition?
Okay, it's always for me it's the same. The only thing that changes is the quantity. For instance, my basic nutrition is based on chicken. Mainly chicken is the best meat for me, and then maybe once a month red meat, and then eggs, absolutely eggs every day. I have eggs every day. I have chicken every day. Fish once in a while, and then meat. And then for my carbohydrates, the ones that work for me, because this is another thing that you discover with bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, you discover what works for your body. So what works for me is sweet potatoes as carbohydrates, oatmeal before my workout in the morning, some broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. Those are my basic food. Now, when I'm competing, that amount, if I'm eating 4 or 5 ounces of chicken per meal, then I will go down to 2 ounces per meal. So it's the amount of food that will change, not the food that I eat, because I eat the same all year round. I don't go out of my program at all because I don't want to put on weight and then when it's competition time I have to lose 20 pounds. I think that's unhealthy. I like to keep it level. I like, I lose like 3 pounds or 4 pounds of water when I'm competing and then probably 5 pounds of fat. And that's doable. I'm very, very tailored to my body, to my needs, to my way of life.
Fair enough. Now, I know a lot of competitors, after they finish a competition, they always have their go-to cheat foods. So what are your, you said that you're pretty consistent with your diet throughout the year, but what are your favorite cheat foods? What are some of the things that you enjoy eating whether it be at the end of a competition or just for lounging around?
Okay, so my cheat meal is only, and this is why I'm so square, because my cheat meal is right after my competition. I compete Saturday night after the show. Then I go out. I have chicken quesadilla. I have mojito. I have nachos. I have flan. So that is my only time that I cheat. But I have my trophies with me, and that's it. And then after that, I go back to my normal diet, my normal way of my lifestyle of eating the food. But I don't have any food that I crave, like pizza and this and that. I just don't, because it's so many years competing that your body gets trained not to crave and to stay in a pattern. So the only time I go off is after my competition.
You know what? You normally, when I've talked to some competitors, they normally always say chocolate and sweets and pancakes. And pizza. That's normally the go-to cheat foods at the end of a competition. You didn't say that. You kind of just said, nachos and a mojito and some other things, but you're pretty consistent. So that's good. That's good that you you have that. I know I read also doing some research on you that you are also Venezuelan as well. Are there any other Venezuelan dishes that you may eat or partake in from time to time?
Oh, yeah, it will be the arepas. I don't know if you know arepas. It will be good. I will make it maybe twice a year, 3 times a year. When I feel like having arepas, I make my arepas.
Okay. Sweet, sweet. Okay, so now let's talk now about not only you're an athlete, but you're also involved in coaching. You do a lot of wellness and life coaching. Just kind of tell me, how did you fall into that style of education?
Yeah, well, I'm a teacher. I got my master's degree in Boston University, and I got my first job in the United States in Cambridge High School. And when I was teaching at the high school, I was teaching math, science, algebra. I was teaching those kind of subjects. And I noticed that when I would talk about dreams and goals and achieving your things and doing the best you can and all that, the kids will wake up. They will be alert. So I started developing my adventures in personal development. And the kids at the high school were like my guinea pigs. So that was in the early 80s when I started developing my coaching program. And I took off from that. So after I moved to Florida, then I started doing my life coaching full time. But it was based on the kids at the high school that I said, wow, once you talk about dreams and goals and achieving and being the best that you can be and going for your dreams and never giving up, they will, oh my God, they get excited. So, and that's how I got started. And I'm still doing it. And I do it now online, Skype and any kind of on camera that my clients may have or they like. So I have a YouTube channel that people can go there and get the information from the videos. I have a great videos there in YouTube for learning. Fabulous work. And that work has been developed. I've been developing that for the last 30 years. So the work there in my YouTube channel is just an amazing resource for people who really want to make changes in their life.
Over the years that you've done this, as you said to the audience earlier, that it started at the high school after you finished graduate school in Boston. Have you heard any feedback from your years of doing wellness and life coaching? Like you've heard from former students that said, "Oh, Dr. Monasterio, thank you for all that you've done. I'm working in corporate America, or I have my own businesses." Do you have any success stories that you get from time to time?
Yes. And it's amazing. It's amazing because they just said, beautiful testimonies about how I impacted their lives. And, it's really nice. So, yes.
All right, let's move along now to your YouTube channel. You mentioned it earlier, and you get a lot of feedback from your YouTube channel, not just with the wellness and life coaching, but also with providing exercise tips, and you show your bodybuilding routines from time to time. Just tell everybody that may not be familiar with your YouTube channel what it's all about.
Well, the YouTube channel is an excellent resource for anybody who wants to work in their personal development. I have videos up there about nutrition. I have videos about training, fitness, exercising, and the mental part of it. And I think the mental portion of that, which is the majority of the videos, are very powerful because it helps people to really have a mindset that will guide them towards success and towards achieving what they really want. I mean, if you read the comments that people write in my YouTube channel, that's amazing because it's just with 8 minutes of a video, it makes such an impact on people. But the reason for that is because the information is pure. The information is from the source. It's not something that, I'm going to do this just because I'm going to make money. No, this is something that came from my heart. It's something for experience, from really wanting to help those children. And when I was teaching as a regular teacher, I watch the video sometimes and I get amazed of the quality of the information, the power of the information, because that's another thing that I noticed with them. The information that I share in those videos are ageless, timeless. It's just amazing that I did some of those videos 20, 15 years ago, and the information is relevant. It's just fabulous.
Absolutely. You know, one thing is certain is that, man, information, especially when it's vital, it can last a lifetime, and it could change anybody's life, whether it aired today or, like you said, 15 years ago. It doesn't matter. It definitely withstands the test of time. So you've got the YouTube channel that you've had for a while, and it's still reaching big numbers. I also want to talk about the book, and as you mentioned the book earlier, it's called Vibrant at Any Age, a guide to renew your life and become vigorous, healthy, and happy. Just tell everybody what the book is all about.
Well, that's another thing about saying yes to life. Right after my bodybuilding career, the idea of writing, because people would ask me, do you have a book? And it reached that critical mass that it was time to write my books. And so far, I have written 4 books. The thing is that if you don't give you, like the same thing I did with bodybuilding, I gave myself the opportunity to write this book. And then, or like I said, I have 4 books, Vibrant at Any Age, and that one is basically sort of the first book has a lot of information that you find in the videos on the YouTube channel. It has the basic foundation. Everybody needs a foundation to grow. If you want to build a house, you have to have a great foundation. So book number 1, Vibrant at Any Age, it's about having the basic information to become and to build a house. And then the book number 2 is Vibrant at Any Age, but this one is to keep learning. You have to keep motivating your brain. So it's very powerful for people to stay ageless, that your cognitive power stays alive. Because if you don't use your cognitive power, then you're going to just go off, because mentally you lose it. So that's book number 2. Book number 3 is about relationships, but having happy and healthy relationships. And that comes from having a relationship with yourself, having a relationship with God, and then once you have a connection between you and God, a happy connection, that intimate relationship, then your relationship with the rest of the world is going to be happy, it's going to be perfect, because you have a good relationship with yourself. And then book number 4 is about how to start from the beginning. Because most people want to work about how do we start from the beginning.
Oh, wow. You definitely have your hands full. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us on the program. Tell everybody real quickly where they can find you on social media, and if you have a website, let them know that as well.
Yes, I have a website. It's drjosefina.com, the David R, drjosefina.com. In Instagram, they can find me at Dr. Josefina Monasterio in Instagram. In Facebook, Josefina Monasterio. In YouTube, Dr. Josefina. Please follow me, especially in Instagram. I'm very, very active in Instagram.
All right. And before we let you go, you mentioned about some television appearances that you made. Tell me about your appearance on America's Got Talent, what that experience was like.
That was one of the greatest experiences. I believe it's going to be for a long time. It was a very interesting experience in the sense of the people are fabulous. I had a great time. I will do it again and again and again and again. And it was just amazing. It was, and the thing is that when they called me and they invited me to the show, and I said, hey, but I don't sing, I don't dance. What do you want me to do? And they said, we just want you to be here with us. We just wanted to be in the show, for you to be in the show. And that's how that happened. And that shows you that if you do what you do, and you do it with love, and you do it because you want just to be, number one, be yourself. Most people, they don't boast. They boast. It's a big difference between boasting and posting, So you do what you do, and you do it with love, and you do it because you really, it's who you are, and you're genuine, and you're transparent. That's what happened. And that's what my book number 5 is going to be all about. I'm going to talk about that experience. I'm going to talk about Steve Harvey's experience. I'm going to talk about all the things that when we are willing to open our heart
and said yes to life, how life takes you in the direction that you never imagined. And with that, I said, pow, you said, wow, pow.
Just tell the listeners, if you can, about what was that like being on the Steve Harvey show?
Well, Steve Harvey was really amazing because Steve Harvey never talks to his guests before. When you see Steve Harvey, it's the first time you see him in the show. You don't never see him. So, of course, when they introduced me, you Google the show and you see his face, he was speechless. It was a blast. He could not believe it. Because, and it was all purity because he never met me before and I never seen him before. It was just the first time we meeting. So we had a great chemistry. We had a great fun. You look at his face and the audience was going nuts because he just could not believe it. He was speechless. Can you imagine Steve Harvey speechless?
Indeed, it was. It looked like it was a lot of fun from the clip that I had seen. So you heard it from her. She is Dr. Josefina Monasterio. She's an athlete, also a doctor. She is a wellness and life coach, and she's also the host of a show. Check out her YouTube channel. She's also an accomplished author. Dr. Monasterio, thank you so much for being on the program.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Any words of wisdom or any words of encouragement that you have for the listeners, the floor is yours.
Oh, absolutely. Look at your life. Don't look at it like I'm getting older and getting worse. No, totally the opposite. It's the opportunity to reinvent, to recreate, to have to be optimistic, to be positive, to take all the experience and make it the best experiences in your life. Because of what? Because you learn from those experiences. Those experiences have helped you to be an amazing, dynamite, fabulous, fantastic human being. And you have the power and you have the potential to be the best that you can be if you give yourself the opportunity, if you open your heart, if you open your mind, and you open your whole being to be blessed and to honor who you truly are. And you are a divine creature. And with that, I say, pow. Pow!
All right, you heard it from her. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.